Good morning, third grade scholars. Miss Keck here, ready for some Tier 3 RTI reading comprehension lesson. Super excited to jump in with you today. We're going to make sure we have everything we need to grow our brains. Today you'll need this story, Hannah's Way from getepic.com. You can find it in your email, or you can go on getepic.com and type in Hannah's Way. You can pause the video and unpause it when you're ready to continue with our lesson. Alrighty, scholars, I'm super excited about this story today. Scholars, I'm going to ask you a question. Has there ever been a time where you're afraid to tell people about something because you're afraid they wouldn't accept you? Tell Ms. Keck about that time. Thank you so much for sharing. I know I've been afraid to tell people things because I didn't think they would accept me. In today's story, Hannah's family moves to rural Minnesota where she is the only Jewish child in her class. She wants to go to a class picnic on Saturday, but she can't because it's her religion's day of rest. Let's read and find out what happens. Alrighty, scholars, so before we get started, we're going to make sure we know all of these sight words that we're going to see in the book. They're popping up right here. We're going to go through them together. Our first one is where. Say it, say it, say it. Our next one is only. Say it, say it, say it. Our third one is tell me. Thought, you're right. Say it, say it, say it. Our fourth one is tell Ms. Keck. Come, you got it. Say it, say it, say it. Our next one is way. Say it, say it, say it. Awesome job, scholars. And our last one is would. Say it, say it, say it. Awesome job, scholars, going through those sight words. Now we're going to look at how to decode words. Can you tell Ms. Keck what strategies we use to decode words? Awesome job, scholars. You got it. We look for chunks that we know and we say it faster and faster. And we say to ourselves, does that make sense? We're going to practice with this word here. This is an important word in our story. So I might look at the word and say, picnic. Picnic? Does that make sense? Is that a word you've heard before? No. So I'm going to break it down into portions I know. So P-I-C, I know that's an abbreviation for pick. So I've seen that before. So that says pick. Pick. And then we use that same strategy on this last part. Nick. Picnic. 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 Does that make sense? Yes, it does. In our story, picnic makes sense. So I'm going to use my strategies and think to myself, does that make sense as I'm reading through this story? Alrighty, scholars, before we jump into our story, we're going to have a thinking job that we're going to think about as we read this story, and it's popping up right here. So as you're reading this story, you're going to think, what lesson is the author trying to teach us? What lesson is the author trying to teach us? You can now pause the video and unpause it when you finish reading this story, and we can jump on into our reading comprehension questions. All right, scholars, make sure that we read it fluently and accurately. G-O, go. Amazing job, scholars, reading through the story and decoding all of those big words. Before we get started in our reading comprehension question, we're going to make sure we do what? Tell Ms. Keck, you know. Yes, you know, we're going to mine for evidence, which means we find the answer in the text to show our teacher that we know where the answer is, and we can make sure that we are right. Alrighty, scholars, we're going to jump into our comprehension questions. Alrighty, our first question is a factual question, which means we can find it directly in the text. Alright, scholars, our first question is, what day of the week is Hannah's day of rest? What day of the week is Hannah's day of rest? Find the evidence. Awesome job, scholars. Now tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Amazing job, scholars. You got it right. Kiss your brain. Alrighty, scholars. Now we're going to do an inferential question, which means we use the text and the pictures and what we know to find the answer. Alright, scholars, here's our inferential question. Why doesn't Hannah want to tell her teacher or her classmates about her problem? Why doesn't Hannah want to tell her teachers or her classmates about her problem? Find the evidence. Awesome job, scholars. Now tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Amazing job, scholars. Way to grow your brain. Our last two questions are critical thinking questions. It means we have to figure out how the character might have changed in the story, or the motivation behind the character, or what an author wants us to learn. Our first critical thinking question is, how does Hannah change throughout the story? How does Hannah change throughout the story? Find the evidence. Awesome job, scholars. Now tell me the answer. Amazing job. You just did such an amazing job critically thinking to find your answer. Alrighty, scholars, time for our last question of the day, and is another critical thinking question, that is, what is the lesson that the author is trying to teach us? What is the lesson that the author is trying to teach us? Find the evidence. Awesome job, scholars. Now tell me the answer. Amazing job, scholars. Kiss your brain. You did an amazing job today, and I'm so proud of you. I will see you next time. Bye, scholars.